More ancient history jewelry stories. It has been a week of Tiffany. On Tuesday, we covered some of Tiffany's beautiful tiaras, including one that has been lost to time. Yesterday, I released the first podcast episode for this month's series, part 1 of the early history of Tiffany & Company. Those of you who have listened to it or plan to listen to it will especially enjoy this deep dive video because I will be providing you with some visuals to go along with that information. Tiffany & Company was initially founded in 1837 as a stationery and fancy goods emporium. Eventually, in 1853, Charles Louis Tiffany decided to focus on jewelry. He eventually developed a reputation as the Diamond King. There were a few events that led to him gaining this illustrious title. In 1848, thanks to political unrest in Europe, Charles Louis Tiffany invested heavily in some very low-priced diamonds. He was able to turn those over for a great profit in just a few years. In 1877, he acquired a massive South African yellow diamond. This weighed 287.42 carats before cutting and was eventually cut down to 128.54 carats. This is known as the Tiffany Yellow Diamond, and it is on permanent display at Tiffany & Company's flagship store in New York City. Along with this, in 1886, Tiffany popularized what is known as the Tiffany setting. This is a 6-prong setting for diamonds that is still the most popular setting for engagement rings in 2025. Charles Louis Tiffany worked very closely with a man named George Frederick Kunz. I mentioned him in last week's deep dive, and I went a little bit into his history in the podcast episode. Kunz was a self-taught mineralogist, mineral collector, and all-around gem fanatic. He identified a previously unknown variety of the mineral spodumene, a purple-pink gem that we now know as kunzite. Charles Louis Tiffany and George Frederick Kunz were both pivotal in Tiffany's early success, but the company really took a sharp turn at Tiffany's death in 1902, when his son, Louis Comfort Tiffany, yes, the glass guy, took over as the first official design director of the company. Louis Comfort Tiffany's whimsical, beautiful designs and obsession with play of light and iridescence made his work stand out among all others. He was one of the chief jewelry designers of the Art Nouveau movement in the United States, and he was absolutely obsessed with opals. He managed to combine his love for iridescent and unusual glass with beautiful color-shifting enamels, opals, and other unbelievably beautiful colored gems to create some of the most distinctive jewelry made in the United States up until today. While his father may have been the Diamond King, Louis Comfort Tiffany was certainly the king of colored gems.